Hi everyone, it's Marcus and welcome to more Zooming in the Jungle Room. Today I'm zooming over to somebody else's incredible jungle. It is Shalom Almond. She is a filmmaker in South Australia. Shalom, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you, Marcus?
I'm good, thank you. Like I was saying before we started recording, your jungle trumps mine and your hair does as well. This is not okay.
This is real.
Oh my gosh. Your garden is beautiful. Oh, and the cats. Oh,
That is my cat's tail.
this just gets better and better. I see, I don't have any cats. This is like, you win. You win. Um, hey, why we're chatting today is because you've got a brand new documentary out. Well, it's not exactly brand new. It has already premiered. We're going to talk about that though. Songs inside the documentary. It premiered at the 2024 Adelaide Film Festival earlier this year. And excitedly won the Audience Award for Best Documentary. So congratulations on that. Now,
Thank you.
it is returning to the Capri in Adelaide, of course, for a special screening on January the 18th, which is just under a month away. Can you
Yeah,
please tell us all about the documentary Songs Inside?
sure. Well, in 2023, I had the opportunity to go inside the Adelaide Women's Prison, where I spent 6 months full time on my own with my camera, documenting the stories of a group of incredibly courageous women inside who signed up for a music program with the amazing Adelaide-based singer-songwriter Nancy Bates. So we had a group of around 12 women who signed up for an intensive music program in the prison to learn the ukulele and learn singing and songwriting to share stories around their experiences of incarceration, addiction, trauma, motherhood, hope, love, and all of their songwriting and all of their music creating culminated in a first of a kind music performance inside the walls of the Adelaide Women's Prison with the full Adelaide Symphony Orchestra. So, as well as documenting these women's musical journeys, I was also inside documenting several of the women's personal journeys around incarceration and their struggles to then come to the outside and then come back into the community again. So, it was a hugely ambitious project.
What inspired you to do this?
I think I've been a filmmaker actually for 25 years. So, this is my 25th year anniversary of making films.
Yay!
And I think what sort of the thread that connects all of my documentaries together is I'm always passionate about giving voice to the voiceless. And I'm also very drawn to stories around transformation. And 5 years ago, I had the opportunity for the first time to go into the Adelaide Women's Prison to make a smaller project in there. And that experience was so life-changing for me that it really scratched the surface of what I thought the potential was to go back into that space to make a much broader, deeper work. So Songs Inside is the result of that.
Songs Inside, how long did it take to produce this, to make this, to film this?
From the very seeds of the project through until when it premiered just a few weeks ago, it's been a 5 year journey.
Mm.
So it's consumed so much of my life and my time and my passion for 5 years to get to this point. And it's really been a labor of love.
And when you work on these documentaries where you obviously engage with a lot of incredible souls, I'm sure,
Mm.
do you find that you walk away from these projects with, beautiful relationships, beautiful new friendships?
Oh, that's probably the thing that draws me the most to filmmaking because when you're making deep personal work around people where you are observing and sometimes filming with them for years at a time, you develop such intense, meaningful relationships with your subjects. And it can in part also be part of the dilemma of filmmaking because as a filmmaker, you're supposed to be impartial and unbiased, but then you do develop these deep friendships with the subjects of your films. And then to navigate the professional and the personal is always a challenge. But particularly even with this project, at least half of the women who were inside and involved in this music project are now on the outside. And I continue to spend time with them, support them, engage them with this film and with the music project on the outside as well. So it really is a joy and a privilege to be able to transition those friendships to the outside.
Shalom, without necessarily saying anyone's name, can you think of an individual that you saw go through one of the biggest transformations in this documentary? You know, a tragic story that turned into a life of joy and, you know, like I say, a transformation.
Hmm.
Who would you
One
pick?
of the one of the main women in the project is a woman called Fabienne, and her story has just been so incredible to bear witness to because she went to jail under circumstances where her family had to cut her off because of her ongoing issues with drug addiction. And then through this project, she signed up for the music program. And I always remember that on the first day of filming, when we sat down in her cell to do our first interview together, she said to me, I've lost my mum. It's been the most devastating thing that's happened to me. And I'm going to use this project. I'm going to use your camera in part as a witness to ensure that this is a comeback story. And your camera is going to be a witness to make me accountable to this is going to be a comeback story. So throughout all of the 6 months filming in the Adelaide Women's Prison of her engaging with the music program, she gave it her all. She stayed off drugs inside. She showed up to every rehearsal, every workshop. She, in the end, became one of the soloists in our performance that we put on with the Adelaide Symphony Orchestra. And once she got out of prison, she was able to reconnect with her mum again, who has now taken her back into her life. They speak on the phone every day. Her mum came to the film premiere. It's completely changed Fabienne's life around on the outside, where now she's able to have gained employment. She's got housing. Her mum and her are spending Christmas together for the first time in nearly 4 years, just in a couple of weeks. So she is an incredible example of someone who has really just used this film and this project as a tool to give herself a second chance. It's been incredible. I've actually got goosebumps even talking about it right now.
You know, don't you feel, Shalom, that we all need to rise up and just spread a little bit more joy and, you know, motivate and inspire people just a little bit harder these days. You know, mental health touches
Sure, like,
everybody. And like, so
yeah, that's right.
kudos to you.
And that's how I try to engage with everyone in my life. I just always try to build people up because what's the alternative? Just making people feel worse about themselves. So,
Exactly.
yeah, that's the way that I navigate all relationships in my personal life and in my filmmaking as well.
You are amazing. Hey, do you remember when you were younger, what was that moment that you said to yourself, I want to be a filmmaker?
I was one of those people that never really knew what I wanted to be or what I wanted to do, but I always knew what my strengths were, and my strengths were always around storytelling and photography and writing. So just by chance, filmmaking sort of like fell into my lap, and it was just the perfect alignment of all of the skills that I was good at and that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
And um, I started my career off in drama, and then probably about 15 years ago, I transitioned to documentary, and I just enjoy the immediacy and the you have to be so present in the moment making documentary. So I've never looked back since I made my first doco.
And let's stay in your younger days for a moment. What was a movie that you saw when you were a younger child or a teenager or whatever that really changed your life and was like, wow, that movie has like changed me?
That's such a hard question.
I know, right? I put you on the spot now.
I know. Oh God, that's really hard. Well, one documentary that I've always loved, which I only just recently revisited again, is that movie Baraka. Have you seen that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I love Baraka. It's just such a beautiful like portrait of humanity and our place in the world. But it's not the kind of film that I would ever try to sort of take on or make. Most of my films are so people driven, and my stories are just driven by my own curiosities about the world and people. But Baraka is just such a special film, especially on the big screen.
Oh. So,
Mhm.
as far as working with people, is there someone that you would love to collaborate with?
Because of the nature of the kinds of films that I make, I often just work alone because I'm often going into very sensitive environments, working with very sensitive material, vulnerable people. So I've often found that even though, for example, like shooting, cinematography is not my strongest point, but I just make it work because the focus of my films is always about the connection and the relationship I have with my subject. So I have a very small team of people that I work with behind the scenes. I have two producers who I work closely with who also happen to double as very close friends, which makes working as an artist so much more enjoyable because, as we all know, it's just such a hard slog and no one's in it for the money. So then to have the opportunity to work with people who you love and respect and care about makes the work so much better.
And then, of course,
So,
you get the
yes.
award as well, that recognition with winning the audience award, that just brings it all back for you, doesn't it?
I know it was just so special. And you make a film and you pour all of your heart and your passion and your soul into it. And then you sort of birth it out into the world. And you don't really know if it's going to connect or resonate with audiences. And then once you show it for the first time and then you have a standing ovation and you can see people in the audience tearing up and reaching for tissues and then laughing out loud and to see people connect with the work is just beyond. Like I'm so excited for the potential for this film to sort of like find its way further out into the world and like connect with other audiences. It's so exciting.
So, like all this recognition you're getting, so well deserved. As an
Oh, thank you.
artist, obviously, you've created the piece of art, you've put it out to the world. Obviously, you still are doing, openings and, interviews like here today. But as an artist, you're already moving on mentally, I'm sure. Is there a project that you're already working on while you're still promoting this one?
I wish I could say yes to that, but I have been so consumed by this film. And next year, this film is going to keep me on my toes because we're rolling out a huge social impact campaign around the film where we're touring to schools, communities, the regions. Hopefully, it will be accepted into festivals overseas and interstate. So I'm sort of just taking my time to enjoy the ride with this project. But of course, in the back of my mind, I'm already hatching ideas around what I would love to do next. But I haven't set my heart on anything yet. So I'm just staying open and just enjoying the ride at the moment.
Going into the future, do you think you'll stay? I mean, it's hard to say, but do you think you'll stay in documentaries, or could you possibly go back into short films again, a bit of drama? What's
I
your
love documentary so much. I can't imagine myself doing anything else. And it's for me, filmmaking, it's not even a matter of like a question of it doesn't feel like a choice. Like I'm so compelled to make work. And when I find a story or a person that resonates with me, I'm in my mind, I'm just like, I have to make that film. It's not even a choice. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to come up next, but it will definitely, because my projects are so long term and I often shoot for years even to find the story, it has to be something that can really connect in for a long period of time with me.
Okay, let's talk about your obsession. How many cameras do you own?
Only one.
What?
I yeah, well, I actually I had two, but I sold one yesterday actually.
Wow.
But yeah, I usually get a new camera and for each new documentary that I make, just to upgrade and to because they're so expensive as well.
My goodness.
So every new project I upgrade and get a new camera depending on what the purpose of that film is and where it's going to be seen and if it's for broadcast or festivals. So I've just got one very special camera at the moment.
And it's a present to yourself, isn't it?
Yeah,
You don't need it,
exactly.
you just want it.
Exactly.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I'm so looking forward to seeing the movie, the documentary at the Capri on January the 18th. Everyone, like we said, it's called Songs Inside. Shalom Almond, what an absolute pleasure chatting to you. I wish you the most
So
amazing.
lovely meeting you.
I know. Well, I'm going to come on January the 18th. I will be there.
Please
Um,
come. The other really special thing about this screening is that the women who are in the film are also going to be in attendance and they will be performing with Nancy Bates after the film with a special guest from the Adelaide Symphony Orchestra as well. So please come.
Oh my gosh. Everybody, please go out, grab tickets. You can actually get your tickets through the Capri website. So get onto it. The Capri obviously is on Goodwood Road in Goodwood. So
That's
get
right.
on, everyone. Come and support Shalom. Keep on doing incredible work and inspiring and spreading joy.
Thank you, Marcus. I'll see you on the 18th.
Yay! Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.